What is going on, Knights of Vex? We are right there from the beginning of the 3v3 Grand Arena season. It is going to be delayed a day with CG's new cadence, but that gives us another day to prepare with Datacrons and coming up with some really cool teams. So what I have for you today is the best 3v3 squads for the up-and-coming season. If you guys are new here, I break this up into 3 separate categories. A category for best defensive teams, offensive teams, and a category called Flex, where those teams can fluctuate between offense and defense depending on what your strategy is for the match and the season. So, flat out, this season is interesting. One of the toughest we're going to have in a long time because these Datacrons are going to impact every single team. It's not like it's only the level 3 that's impacting the team. It's the 3 to 6. Literally, attacker, support, tank, healer. Every single team is gaining a benefit. So it's going to be really important that you prepare and get the right Datacrons and come up with the right teams for this season. So, I want to start out by beginning that every time I do this video, I like to ask you guys, the viewers, the Knights of Vex, a question. And 2 months ago, I asked if you guys are coffee drinkers. Do you wake up to have coffee, or does coffee wake you up, kind of vice versa kind of thing? And last month, I asked, what was your favorite PlayStation/Xbox game of all time? For this month, I have a question for you guys. What is your favorite Star Wars game you have ever played of all time, and why? And I'm going to say up, Swoga is not going to count, because realistically, if we play this game for so long, Swoga is everyone's favorite Star Wars game, maybe. But for me personally, Knights of the Old Republic, number 1 and number 2, are just simply my favorite Star Wars games of all time. The greatest story ever told. Really, really cool with Darth Revan and playing as, really awesome characters and companions. I love the playstyle. One of my favorite games. And honestly, there's so many honorable mentions that I can go on for hours to talk about, but I want to know what you guys think. Your favorite Star Wars game of all time and why. So, really appreciate it. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content like this. It's the best way to support your boy Vex on his journey to becoming a full-time YouTuber. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to start with the best defensive teams, and we're going to get right into it. So, initially, you're going to see there's going to be a couple things you see earlier, but the first team we have to talk about is going to be Ugnaught with Hondo Ohnaka and Ezra Bridger. I have had the luxury of getting this Cron early and testing with it against Galactic Legends and Squad Arena 3v5, and it ain't disappointing. It's so strong, wicked overpowered in 3v3. That's where it's really meant to be played, because you can't really have a 4th and 5th character. It's going to be turned off, but I was taking out Lord Vader, taking out Power King Hondo. I even took out Rey, which is insane. So this is bound to be one of the strongest teams we've seen this season, or we're going to see this season, because of how crazy that level 9 Datacron is. What I'm going to recommend for the initial week, first week, before any data is come out, we don't know about any counters, set this thing on defense, because we don't know what it's going to beat or what's going to beat it. So practically, you're gaining 50% evasion if it's on defense, and on offense, you're gaining 100% evasion if there's no Galactic Legends. So what I'm going to say again is, for the first week of the season, place this bad boy on defense. Hopefully you get some holds, and then we'll be able to establish after week 1 what we can do in week 2. So get prepared for a very crazy meta with Ugnaught and Hondo and Ezra. Now, you're going to see over here, we have a little sneak peek of the second team. Rey with Ben Solo and Luminara. Yeah, I think you're going to want to stick to the Luminara Cron this season. It's not over the top the strongest Rey team we've ever seen, but it does cause some issues for some counters. And I have definitely lost matchups last 3v3 season because of the Luminara level 9. Just being able to remove your opponent's protection when you're attacking out of turn can really cause issues for you. I tried going with Seer Malicos, and I think it was Maul, and I didn't have enough damage to get through them, and I lost because I had no protection, got killed by a Rey Whirlwind, and I was in serious trouble. So, it's not going to be a 100% hold rate team, but it will cause your opponent issues and might get you some holds throughout the season. I think that's going to be your best home for Luminara this season with her Focus Datacron. If you have it, let's take advantage of it. For the next season, once Luminara Cron is gone, then we'll look at giving Rey some of those other new set Crons. So, that's going to deal with Rey. If you have a Ben Solo at Relic 10, his crit chance is really high. The stats on the Cron alone are nuts. If he's able to take a turn and hit you, he's practically going to one-shot an entire team with his Omicron. So, very strong team. Hopefully he gets you some holds this season. And that leads into team number 3, Stranger Maul. And this one's going to be a little tricky to figure out because without the Luminarchron on 3v3 for Stranger, which you cannot do, it's going to break the synergy, the Stranger team is a lot weaker. But it does require a very strong team. You're going to have to either use Satil, possibly Bad Batch. I don't think Bad Batch is going to be as easy this season. We're going to have to see with the Attackerchron. But my biggest question is that will Stranger with a Attackerchron, all of them are attackers, will they benefit enough to take out Satil before she can gets going and, you know, gets murdered by him? Because Satil, with her Basticron and Jedi Knight Revan, should be able to walk over this team, but I simply do not know, and I don't have the testing yet to figure out if a Attackerchron will be able to nuke out Satil initially. And they might be able to get outrun because of Basti's Terminator level 9, but we're going to have to see. If you can bait the opponent's Satil for another team, because Satil is going to be very powerful for a lot of teams this season. She's very, very strong. So I am going to place it on defense. I can see a use for it on offense, but every team is beatable this season. There's not a single unbeatable team. You just have to pick and choose exactly what you want to do and try to avoid the cheese meta. So Stranger Maul and Star Killer are very good. Now, Lord Vader. Very tricky spot because Lord Vader is a very strong Galactic Legend, has a 3v3 Omicron with CX2, but they're just increasingly more and more counters for this guy. But I still think he's a strong Galactic Legend on defense, especially tied in with that Attacker level 6 where he's dealing % health damage on his, when you apply a debuff, like 10% max health damage. He's damaging opponents through his unique, which is applying dots, and his big splash damage AoE. So that could really mess up counters. We're going to have to see if it stops Pirates. We're going to have to see if it stops Ugnaught. I think Ugnauht's going to beat Lord Vader this season, but you might be seeing a lot of that on defense. So you have to pick and choose what you want to do. I don't think Lord Vader is going to be required to take out any teams on offense, but really weird spot where you want to use him. I think he's going to be better on defense this season. Moving on to another very confusing Galactic Legend at the moment, Pirate King Hondo Onaka. So his viability is going down without the Vayntron. Last season, it was the best team in Grand Arena. Now he's in a weird predicament because, yes, he's getting boost from his from the support cron and having a tank on the squad, but I don't think it's going to shut down his main counters at all. I think he's going to have a really hard time in 3v3 compared to 5v5. I think the attacker cron in 5v5 is going to be great, but in 3v3, not as much. I think he's going to be countered by Ufu's, Kylo. Practically everyone's going to probably use Kylo against Hondo. There is no singular comp of Pirate King Hondo that I can think of that's going to stop Kylo from walking right over it this season. And OG Hondo is busy doing stuff with Ugnaught, and SM33 is busy doing stuff with Maz Kanata. So I'm thinking, might as well, you could throw in Quiggold here, but I'm going to throw in Silvo because there is a GAC Omicron. It can be annoying with that Terminator manipulation. There's 2 supports on the team. There's a tank. Maybe you could stall out a banner or 2, or be an annoyance for any of the off-meta teams, but keeping OG Hondo with Ugnaught and keeping SM33 with Maz Kanata on potential offensive counter for Lord Vader. So, very flexible third. I'm going to be running Silvo. Every now and then, I might run Quiggold, but we're going to have to see. And that leaves Ahsoka. Ahsoka is definitely a defensive Galactic Legend. If you bring her on offense, it's a little weird. Ezra, a very annoying team, very dangerous at relic 10 with the increased evasion. Now, Datacrons that I'll be running this season with it, more than likely going to be running the Dedracron. Dedra Focus Datacron gives a ton of crazy stats. If I'm not going to run that, more than likely running a tank level 3 with a support grit level 6. So I will be fluctuating the Datacron because I might want to set my ISB on defense. I'm starting to get them at 6 star, 7 star. I can increase the relic levels. They might be more powerful. And with the removal of the Phoenix Cron with General or Harrison Dula, they might not lose to them in 3v3. I did look at some data. The win rate for Phoenix against ISB without the Syndulla Cron was like 16%. So I'm hoping that the higher relics and the more opponents setting the ISB Focus Datacron with ISB, it'll make them stronger. But for now, Ahsoka does require strong counters. Keep in mind Great Mothers. Great Mothers might be doing really good things against Ahsoka this season, especially with 100% more damage on Night Sister Spirit with that level 6 attacker cron. So make sure, if you're setting Ahsoka on defense, make sure you have the right Datacron to stop them, or if you can't stop them, consider changing up your defense. That's the only thing I can consider, is check if your opponent runs Great Mothers. If they do, make sure you have a fast Ezra. Now, this one I was thinking about for a while, and I feeling pretty confident with this. Django's Datacron with Asajj and Forlom. Now, the reason why I'm choosing Forlom here is because Forlom has a very hard-hitting multi-hit basic. So that can help you get the contract way faster if you have Django, if you're running the Django lead, because obviously Django's Datacron is very strong. Asajj going to give your whole team Disciple. They're going to get 100% turn meter. Forlom has a Mass Swarm for dark side characters. He's got Corrupted Translation. I think that this might be better off than OG Mando. Obviously, OG Mando has great turn meter manipulation, but they're going to have 100% turn meter. They're going to be hitting really hard. They can get the contract really fast, so I am a big fan of Forlom in the third, but it is a very flexible spot. I'm probably going to see opponents set with Zam Wessel as well, because Zam Wessel has an Omicron, so it's really what you feel like choosing. It's a very flexible third. I personally will be going with Forlom because of the Corrupted Translation and the Mass Swarm Shock middle ability. And obviously Asajj is really, really good. So Django going to be doing big things on defense, and there is an argument for him on offense as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a hot take, but after experiencing it last season and noticing what was hard and what wasn't hard and difficult to get through, I tried splitting up Cassian last season with Clea, or with having Cassian with Cinta and Vel, and then doing Saw, Luth, and Clea, and simply Cassian was just so beyond weak with those other two characters that it wasn't even worth setting. They were like getting Wampa soloed, but Wampa also had a focus Datacron, but there were a ton of other counters as well. I think personally, you have to bite the bullet, just combine the super team, do Cassian, Luth, and Clea, put the Cassian focus Datacron. It will require a stronger team, like Kenobi, Queen Amidala, maybe Great Mothers can have a slight chance of doing it. It really narrows down your options when you combine it and can make a super team. So, really tough. Do not underestimate it, and that's what I'll be doing this season. Now, if you have Saw Gerrera's Omicron and you don't want him to be wasted, I'm personally going to be trying Saw with Captain Rex and Kyle. There are different combinations you can run here. There are support crons with Grit. You can run an attacker cron with Kyle. Many different options. You're going to have to figure out what you want to do. But I don't want to have my Saw Gerrera on the bench. He's still a very tough team. And maybe with the Grit, it'll cause issues for Inquisitors, because that means you're going to be immune to that death mark damage. So I'm thinking maybe with Captain Rex on the team, he doesn't get, all that big damage from the death mark. Maybe it could stop Inquisitors. Maybe not. We're going to have to see. But that's kind of like my mindset. I don't want Saw Gerrera to go wasted on the bench. So I'll be using that team specifically on defense. And I know I talked about it a little bit earlier with ISB, but I will be setting them on defense this season. Like I said, I'm getting close to getting Major Partagaz to 7. My Dedra is on the way to 7, and I'm waiting for KX Security Droid to be farmable. So I think they're very strong. I think a lot of players are using Jedi Master Luke against it, which is a Galactic Legend. So I guess that's good value for you. I have also seen players lose to it with JML. So depending on your relic levels, it is a very tough team. It's just all dependent if you want to set the focus Datacron with them or with Ahsoka. That's the biggest thing you have to consider when setting this team. But regardless, good defensive squad. Hopefully gets you some holds. Now, this team, I still think that Darth Vader duels and with the Palpatine level 9 is best with Mara Jade. I think the Terminator train is very strong. Can Tuskens pull it off sometimes? Yes, they can. If Tuskens can pull it off, it's kind of a bad banner win for them. It's going to be a 54 or even worse. But I think that you gain more benefits from Mara Jade running a Terminator train. It practically stops Traya. So if a lot of opponents, I think last season when I set Scorch or Royal Guard, they would just use Traya and win. With this, the Traya team has a hard time taking a turn. So Darth Vader duels end with the Palpatine level 9. Still a very strong defensive team, and we'll be getting you a lot of holds. I guarantee it. Now, I'm moving into some more of the not top-of-the-line teams and more of the filler squads that could still do some good work for you. Enoch with the Death Troopers are still very strong. We do have a Attacker Cron, level 6. So Night Trooper and Death Trooper Peridic can benefit a lot from this. They hit very hard, especially if you have Night Troopers Omicron and you're stacking on that Blight. So I do want to keep in mind how good this team can be with an Attacker Cron. You want to get as many of those rolled as possible. Not going to be the strongest team in Grand Arena, but a nice filler squad for you. Now, moving into the next one, we have Yoda and Chewbacca with Tarful and Zalbar, and there's many different options for you. I was thinking, if anyone doesn't have the Luminara Chron, or you want to change it up this season, you could probably put Zalbar in with your Rey with the Zalbar level 9, but for this They're going to benefit a lot from the Tankron and the Tarful level 9 if you don't have an opponent Galactic Legend. They're going to gain extra stacks of Bulwark. You can get 100% crit avoid, and they can hit pretty hard, especially Zalbar with all that, defense modding. So I think this team will see some use on defense. It's not the strongest squad in the world, but you will see it on Grand Arena this season. Next up, Inquisitors, with Inquisitor Barris as the lead, Ninth Sister, and Second Sister. So what I'm thinking for this team specifically is it really gets countered by General Skywalker, but that's a bad banner win for your opponent. So I think that's a kind of a win for you. But I'm thinking that maybe if they're running something different, you run Second Sister with the Attacker Cron possibly, and the Healer level 3 for Inquisitor Barris. You can do like a damage immunity. You can do a, when they fall below 50% health, they gain damage immunity again. Like, there's many different options. With a max health damage 6 with Second Sister, because every time she's applying a stack of Purge, that's an extra 10% max health damage. So, again, not the best Omicron team in the world, but you will see it on defense, and it might strip a banner from your opponent. So, want to keep that in mind. Next up, we have Stormtrooper Luke with Stormtrooper Han and Leia. They're going to gain a benefit this season. Leia is a attacker. We have an attacker Cron. If she's under stealth and has full health and protection, she's going to be hitting pretty hard. So, a team you shouldn't underestimate. I think a lot of opponents run Darth Revan, Omicron, Zalbar, and Mission against, with Mission against it for a 54 banner win. So, again, your opponent's losing banners. It's a good benefit for you. But I think Leia might be doing a lot of damage this season. I truly do. Next up, we're talking about more filler squads. This is a filler team. Resistance is definitely going down and down and down the totem pole in terms of viability, but it doesn't mean that they're bad. It's a team you cannot take lightly, and depending on your rank in Kyber or in Erodium, they can still get holds. I have to face it on my free-to-play account, and they're a pain to deal with if you don't have the right counters. Don't let them run a Terminator train on you. We have attacker crons, we have support crons, we have so many different things that we could utilize and, test for our advantage. So, could potentially shut down some counters that we don't know about, but not a bad team. Now, the last team I'm going to set on defense, and this is just purely fill, because I don't think they're going to have a good use on offense in 3v3. Bad Batch v2. Yes, I know all the Bad Batch lovers, this is no disrespect to you. They're a beast of a team on 5v5. I fully recognize that. In 3v3, I have yet to see them do a thing for me besides just die. And I can't do anything with them on offense really either. So, maybe they could take out Queen Amidala. I haven't gotten it to work. I've never gotten it to work in 3v3. That might be a me thing, but I think they're a good filler squad for you in 3v3. And in 5v5, we're going to really see them shine. So, that is going to wrap up the best 3v3 defensive list. We're going to quickly move on to the best offensive list. Moving on to the offensive list, we're going to go kind of fast with this one because it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. But Satil Shan with the Datacron with Basti is very strong. On defense, she has a little bit too many counters. Great Mothers can walk over her. Sith Eternal can walk over her. She has way more value on offense, and she gives you good banners. So she can take out Lord Vader. She can take out Stranger, take out Jango Fett Kron. So I think your best bet's going to be paired with Revan and Basti. Run the Basti level 9. I think it's the better one. Damage reduction for Old Republic 6, and you're going to be in really good shape. Satil is one of my favorite characters in this game. It's not even close. Next up, Leia. Now, Leia, without the Drogon Kron, is not really... It's a little bit of a downgrade, but she's still gaining major benefits from the new set. Like, you have so many different options. You can run a support Kron, which is going to benefit R2. She gets the tanker level 3. Or you can go full-on attacker level 6 for Drogon. Like, there's so many different options. I think that she's more important on offense this season. And I think she could take out Ahsoka. She could take out Hondo. She could take out so many different squads. She's one of the best. She's the best squad in the game, by far. Best offensive squad. And I think she's going to be better on offense this season. Now, always run this pair. Sith Eternal Bane, self-explanatory. Just purely offensive teams. Not really viable on defense, especially with Maz Kanata in the mix. She just completely eradicates Sith off of defense. 3v3 is getting to the point where we're getting so many different squads that you can afford to combine both of them. So if you can, it's going to be a very good banner win. If not, you can run Sith Eternal solo and run Bane by himself, by himself, but with some other Sith character to reap the most of the benefit. But obviously, not much to say here. Sith Eternal and Bane are always offensive. Which leads into the next Galactic Legend, which is, again, always going to be on offense, in my opinion, with the introduction of Bo-Katan and Balin. Just JMK. Good banner recovery. Good at taking out really tough squads. Really good at manipulating the AI to your advantage. I think if you pair it with Mace, it's going to be really good because of the Shatterpoint synergies with his Datacron. Run the bonus turn for level 6 for the Galactic Republic, and you're going to be in really, really good shape. So JMK doing big things on offense. And that leaves another Galactic Legend, JML, who is soon to be lifted to great heights with Jedi training Leia, but that's going to take some time. In the meantime, he's going to be used on offense with Cal and Luke. I have seen him take out Stranger before with it. I just brought him up to Relic 10 in preparation for the new Conquest unit, hoping he can do some good things for me this season, taking out Balin, maybe potential Kylos on defense. He's still pretty solid. He's just not the most fun defensive Galactic Legend getting holds, but he's still a very good offensive GL. Now, moving on to Ufus. This squad specifically is going to be very good at taking out Pirate King Hondo. Practically, you run an Attacker Cron. Maul, every time he does an Anguish, is going to be calling Malicos to assist, and he's going to be throwing a lot of rocks and doing a lot of damage. So, I like it specifically for offense. You could take out Inquisitors. Like I said, you could take out Pirate King Hondo. So many different tough squads that... One of my favorite characters in the game. Favorite synergies between Maul and Malicos. So, I will be running a Attacker Cron with them. Do not underestimate. Next up, another really good squad that I'm a big fan of is Bo-Katan Mandalore, pairing with IG-12 and Paz Vizsla. I think you're better off running Bulk here instead of the new set. I mean, you can run the new set, but I think Bulk benefits better. Really good team on offense, but the problem in 3v3 is the banner recovery. Just simply not there like it would be in 5v5, but she can really get you out of a pinch against really tough teams. So, she's more beneficial on offense, I think, because you can really manipulate her AI to her advantage, or to your advantage. You can ignore taunt, you can do the ability blocking characters you want, and just very, very good offensive squad. Big fan of Bo. Next up, Dr. Aphra, and we might not be seeing a lot of Jabba's on defense anymore, but she's still very good on offense, especially paired with IG-90 and BT-1. You have the damage from BT-1, you have IG-90 with the crazy mass swarms, the heal over times, the taunt on your decoy. Big fan of it. Dr. Aphra definitely got a boost with IG-90. I'm hoping on offense she does really good things for you, and she's got good banner recovery now. On defense, she can still get countered by the same things, so I think she's better off on offense. Which leads into Traya, which is the same concept. She's a Sith. Not really. Sith are really just not meant for defense anymore with Maz Kanata. You can set multiple Sith squads and make it difficult for your opponent to choose. But regardless, I think Traya is really good on offense for taking out tough squads like Gungans, Reva. Probably, I might be able to take out the new Ugnaught squad. We're going to have to see. If you're able to control OG Hondo, you annihilate him first, you might be okay. But we're going to have to see because they have a Fracture and a Captive. But Traya, always very good on offense regardless. Now, talking about the next two pair, which is a Sith Empire squad. Sith on offense. Malgus, no matter what, one of the earlier Conquest characters in this game, always has a use, constantly getting me out of tough situations against teams I wouldn't want to use a Galactic Legend on. Like, he's such a god at taking out squads underneath the status of Galactic Legend. He really is super good. Probably going to be the go-to counter for Mace this season. Mace is very strong with that Depth of Balaba level 9. Now, if you use Darth Revan separately, which you're going to see in the Flex category with Zalbar and Mission, then you can replace Revan for Bastila Shan Fallen, which is really good for the squad. We still have a Sith Datacron enabled, so utilize it to your advantage. That's going to be a quick wrap-up of the offensive squads. Now we're going to get into the really fun category, which is my favorite, the Flex. Alright, here we go. Wrapping up this video, we are starting with the Flex category, which is going to be the newest Conquest character, Cobb Vanth. And this guy is really, really tricky in 3v3. In 5v5, I think he's going to be way better. But his kit is so convoluted with the way it synergizes with the other characters. He doesn't gain Bounty Hunter's Resolve unless there's a Jawa on the field. And his Omicron isn't fully active unless there's 3 Constables. But I believe only part of it isn't active. I think the majority of it is active. So what I'm going to recommend is in 3v3... he might be better off on both offense and defense. And the reason is because you might have potential timeout issues on offense. He might lack the damage that you're looking for against Jabba and possibly Pirate King Hondo. We're going to have to see. Maybe his Datacron helps. Maybe the level 6 helps. Me personally, I'll be running Cobb Vanth with Coruscant Underworld Police, Cup, and Chief Nebbit. Possibly with the Chief Nebbit level 9 because of that bonus protection. I just think that if he's exposed with no Bounty Hunters Resolve, he's going to get exploded really fast and die. And I just think he needs a Jawa on the field for that to happen. So I'm replacing Lobot with Cup. Cup is going to be your damage dealer. Cobb Vanth has insta-kills. You can get deputized on your Jawa. Chief Nebbit is there for the taunting and tanking. So, me personally, I think that's going to be your best bet. I will be fluctuating between Cobb Vanth on offense and defense this season. He's going to be in the flex. Whoops. Getting a little carried away here. Going to team number 2. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I have talked about this in previous GAC videos. Kylo is the team you expect heavily on offense, but he is an ultimate trap card for a back wall when your opponent is not expecting it. He can really get you wins. In the last 3v3 season, which I did really well in, he got me holds in almost every single round in the back wall because my opponent wasn't expecting it. Especially with an attacker cron this set, with Dark Ray and Supreme Leader Kylo in your lineup. They're both attackers. There's good health and protection recovery, so the chances of them being at full health and protection are high. A team you cannot take lightly. If you're able to bait your opponent's Kenobi or Bane in the front, they have a pretty tough decision to make in the back. So that's in terms of defensive viability. For offense, he can take out almost anything and everything in this game. Super powerful with Dark Ray. Really can manipulate Dark Ray's lightning to go 2 turns in a row with Hux's, turn reset, Kylo's ultimate. Just a very good squad overall. One of my favorite in the game. Now, we got to talk about Jabba. Such a weird spot for Jabba, but he is gaining massive benefits with the new set. And I think specifically, it's not the support cron. It's the attacker cron for Leia. The max health damage on the 6. They're able to get the contract so fast. The thing is this going to stop Cobb Vanth or Kenobi from beating it? That's the question. I do not know. I do not know for sure. But on offense, very good at taking out a number of different squads. You can probably take out Power King Hondo, take out Balin, good banner recovery. It's very, very good. On defense, we're going to have to see. You can bounce back and forth. Your opponent might get overzealous and try to use Cobb Vanth against Jabba and time out possibly because you lack damage. So, something to think about. He's a Flex Galactic Legend now. He will eventually probably need a lifter unit in the next year or so. Next team, Maz Kanata. Pretty tough on defense if you have her fast. Can't take her lightly. And on offense, can take out any Sith squad in the game. And can take out Lord Vader. So, I think what you're going to want to run for this one is going to be the support cron with Grit. I think that it's going to help Maz Kanata a lot. If not, if you don't want to run the support cron, you can run a attacker cron for SM33 to do insane damage to Lord Vader. I have one of my most viewed shorts is SM33 one-shotting Lord Vader in the first 5 seconds of the battle. Maybe that happens again with an attacker cron. We're going to have to see. But all up in the air. Really excited for this team. And on defense, very tough to get rid of as well. How can we not talk about these next 2 squads? Are literally one of my favorite squads in the game. Queen Amidala is definitely in my top 5 favorite teams in this game. Argument to be made for number 1 conquest unit. She's definitely number 2. But so good on offense. Takes out Rey like it's nothing. Can take out so many different teams. Like, good banner recovery. Good cooldown increases. Good damage. Good utility. Everything. This team doesn't lack much. So strong. I brought it to Relic 10. 0 regrets. And very good on offense and defense. Really, really strong. And probably, what I wanted to mention is the Galactic Republic Cron is what you're going to be running here. I faced it last season on defense. I had an opponent that had a Relic 10 Master Qui-Gon, and he was hitting harder than Padawan Obi-Wan. It was disgusting. It's going to be viable on offense and defense. Expect it to be changed flip-flop all season long. Great mothers. Probably in my top 3. They're getting me all tongue-tied. They are my top 3. Spirit hits like a truck with an attacker cron on the level 6. Could you imagine what she's going to be doing to Ezra's? Especially if she's at full health of protection. She's going to be one-shotting. She's definitely going to be one-shotting. So make sure you mod her for some crit chance if the Ezra has crit avoidance, because all she needs is to just land. Crit chance and accuracy arrow, very big damage. And even on defense, maybe that attacker cron shuts down a bunch of counters as well. If you cannot deal with Spirit with Foresight and her not being a full health of protection, or even the defense to offense conversion, she's going to be one-shotting characters. I guarantee it. Extremely strong. Now, next up, Riva with Grand Inquisitor and 7th Sister. I'm thinking Attacker Kron here. Attacker Kron with the Healer 3 with the max health damage 6, because when you apply a stack of Purge, that's dealing damage. So, Grand Inquisitor applies a bunch of stacks of Purge. He has his big hit, his big AoE. That could be pretty strong damage. So, even on defense and offense, great use, good banner recovery. But I have an argument and see an argument for them to be used on both either offense or defense. Very strong squad. Next up, Master Mace. He's growing on me a little bit more. Is a little biased because he has a very strong Datacron set with Galactic Republic and the Depa Balaba 9. He was able to get me wins against Cassian and or last season against certain lineups of Cassian. Not every single one. Not with Clea and Luthen. It's a little harder. But he's very strong on offense, and on defense, the Sith matchup is simply not a guarantee sometimes. There were times I lost Traya. Traya, who was in the leadership, died, and I could have lost the battle. So don't expect to use Traya this season against Mace and fully expect a clean, easy win, because it's not. Mace, viable on defense and offense this season for sure. Next up, Balin. Balin is going down in viability a little bit because of the removal of his focus Datacron, but he's still a very strong squad. He can take out the Rebel fighter teams. He almost requires, not all the time, a lot of opponents are going to use a Galactic Legend against him on defense, but I'm a big fan of him. He's very strong, and on offense, he can take out really good squads. So get ready for him. Now, tying into the offensive list, this is where I'll be using Darth Revan with Zalbar and Mission. Can take out Great Mothers, but if you can't take out Spirit, and she's at full health, like I said, like that could shut down this counter, because if they one-shot Zalbar and one-shot your Darth Revan, you're in really rough shape. So it's really dependent on the Datacron. It really is. But Darth Revan is still a very good offensive team. Can take out squads that you couldn't normally get, take care of without a Galactic Legend. So big fan of it. And on defense, it's a little bit tricky. Next up, we have Keller and Beck with Jocasta and Shaak Ti. This is more of a filler squad. The reason why I'm including it is because we do have a Galactic Republic level 6. Not going to be as easy to get rid of on defense with a typical Bosk, Mando, and a Grief Karga squad. Very good. I was able to take out certain squads on offense with it, like Enoch, the Death Trooper units. It's still very strong. Not the strongest squad, but I have to include it on the list. And we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Next up is going to be Gungans, and different options here. You can use the Support Kron with the Jar Jar level 9. I personally haven't rolled it yet, so I'll be running a Attacker level 6 with Tarpals. I think the damage potential is going to be high. I think they're going to benefit way more in 5v5 than 3v3. But on offense, they could take out all the Separatist teams that you want. They could take out DTMG, which I don't even think is a Kyber 1 defensive team anymore. But Gungans, very strong. Requires something strong to take out on defense. Always Kyber 1 viable. Tarkin. Tarkin is also very strong, and he might be gaining a buff with the support level 6 because of the grit, and even the tank level 3. So this could be doing some big things too. Get ready for Tarkin to do some big stuff, especially with a potency stat as a Kron. I typically use him to take out Tuskens. Tuskens are pretty strong on defense. Obviously going way down in viability the way they used to be. They were one of the strongest teams in the game. But Tarkin always going to have a use no matter what. Have to include General Skywalker because he is a squad that is still viable. Just the problem with him is the banner recoveries. It's just so trash. That's the problem. On defense, it gets your opponent thinking. Do they have to use Sith Eternal, or they're going to have to figure out a squad that could be risky? That's why I like General Skywalker, keeping him in the mix, because he makes your opponent have to do questionable decisions. And then we have to talk about Omicron, Qui-Gon Jinn with Ki-Adi-Mundi and Anakin. The reason why they're back on the list is because, again, the Galactic Republic level 6 brings them back. We have the Anakin level 9, could really do some big damage. You could even, if you wanted to, use the Ki-Adi-Mundi Datacron, which I don't recommend. I can rather keep Luminara with Rey. But you have different options. On defense, makes your opponent have to think a little bit. DTMG can work. It's a little bit more dicey. And on offense, they could take out squads that you wouldn't normally be able to take care of. So, and the last team to wrap up this video is Tuskens. They are now a flex team instead of a defense team because they could take out heavy Terminator trained teams like possibly Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Vader. Not a guaranteed win. Relic Delta is a thing. I personally won't be trying it because mine are at Relic 5 and one is at Relic 6. So I won't be doing it. Probably be setting them on defense some matchups. But on offense, if the team has Terminator, they can help you out. So that took a while, but there's a lot to talk about. I had to share my thoughts on these squads, and I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this list is correct? Do you have any comments about what I did with certain squads? I want you guys to do me a favor and let me know down below. And if you guys could do me another favor by dropping a like on the video, commenting all your thoughts, subscribing to the channel for more content, your boy Vex would be a very happy content creator. So cannot wait for the Grand Arena season to start. I hope you guys are excited too. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Get you ready for Grand Arena. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the force be with you all. Peace.